Welcome, I'm Lizzie Brooks, and this is Lizzie Brooks Yoga and Fitness. Today's class is super challenging fast workout. I don't really think I need to explain, it is what it is. You don't have a lot of time, you wanna get a lot done, burn a lot of calories, that's what we're gonna do. If you wanna add weights to this in any section of the workout, feel free. I'm not gonna do weights today, but you have the option. All right, let's get this going. Okay, so you might want a towel or a blanket for the times when we will be on the knees, just to pad the knees a little bit. And let's go ahead and start in a downward facing dog and just get a little stretch, little blood flow through the hamstrings, the spine, and just pedal it out here. So root your palms down and lengthen the hips up and back and bend one knee and the other. The heels don't have to touch, and if you want more of a warm-up, which I do recommend, then pause this, do a little more warm-up, and come back. Deep breath in, sigh out through the mouth. All right, now begin to bend your knees, walk your hands or your fingertips back, and come into a wider footed chair pose here. Wake up your inner thighs a little bit here, and then walk forward from there into plank this time. Do that again, bend the knees, walk back, heels down, create that bit of a wide footed chair, and walk back to plank. So stay with that movement, walking back, heels set, and walking forward, plank. Then we're gonna add on to this, walking back in one more moment. So do this one more time, walking back, create that chair, and then add a hop if you want, and walk back into plank. If you wanna just come back and hold or add a heel lift, then add that heel lift rather than a hop. And don't hop today if you have issues with your joints. And one more time, all the way back, with a hop or a heel lift or neither one of those, come into your plank pose. From here, we're gonna tap off our mat, left and right with our toes. Now, as you can see, I'm already cheating. I have already moved my shoulders behind my wrists. That makes it a little easier. So I'm gonna move my shoulders more forward so they're more over the wrists, and that's gonna make things tougher in the shoulders, but therefore more strength in the shoulders. Keep your tapping left to right. You can slow it down or speed it up. Make sure you're not sagging the hips down. Draw your organs towards your spine. 3, 2, 1. Back to your downward dog. Separate the feet wider than the hips. Shift your hips side to side. So we want to make sure we're getting open, we're getting flexibility along with the strength today. And then from here, instead of walking back to your feet, step forward to your hands. Feet are a little closer than they were before, and press all the way to stand. Reach up. Then turn your palms forward and exhale. Bring the elbows back. Open the chest and work those back muscles. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, float your arms down. Go wide with your feet, and we're gonna come into a horse stance or sumo or goddess, whatever you wanna call it. It's gonna work your legs. So come into this roughly 45 degrees with the knees pointed towards the toes, and we'll start to go up and down with the legs. Okay, so this is option 1, and you can make that smaller range of movement or larger. If you want a little bit more, reach the arms up. Go slower if you want even more work in the legs. And then from here, if you want even more, lift one heel and continue. That's gonna get into your groin a little bit more. One heel, and then put that down. If you did lift that heel, lift the other heel now, up and down, working the legs a little asymmetrically here, getting into muscles we might not be used to. Then lower that heel, reach the arms out, and take a little bit of a turn to one side. Back to center, a little bit of a turn. There's a twist aspect going on, especially in the back. And once you've done both directions, come to center, slowly come up, reach up, turn your heels back, bring your hands to your heart. Shake that out. Now, some of us are going to hop in and some of us are gonna march in. So marching in and out, marching in and out, okay? You can even do little marches in and out, or you can start and maybe bring your arms into it, out and in here. You want to land with bent knees every single time, not straight legs. Okay, 3, 2, smiling sometimes helps. 1, and stand up tall, hands over the heart. Just feel that heart rate. Find your breath. And shake out the legs. So from here, we're going to come back up to the top of the mat, come into our chair pose, and we're gonna do some tap backs. I'm gonna scoot back a little bit. Tap one set of toes back, come back to chair. Other set of toes back, back to chair. Now if you wanna bring your arms into it, reach your arms out as one foot goes back. Take the elbows in with the forearms up as you come back to center. Out, in, out, in. And then with the arms, add more of that pulling motion and really engage your muscles in the arms to create a little bit more tension there. Pulling, reaching and pulling. 3, 2, 1, and then come up to stand, shake that all out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. You might bend the knees on this fold, any amount. We're gonna go back into plank pose. Now, remember that you can do this, you can change these things up as you like. You can put your knees down for this if you like, or a classic plank, and then we're going to one arm up and down, other arm up and down. To the side, oop, there's a wall there, back and back, okay? Forward, forward, side, side, back, and back, okay? So instead of wobbling side to side with the pelvis, we're going to do that one more time and try now to keep the pelvis as steady as we ever have. Forward, forward, which means we're slowing it down. Side, side, back, and back. Walk your hands back to your feet. Let the heels come down. You're in that squatting sort of chair pose there. And then press the arms back as you stand tall. Lift the sternum, working the triceps as if you're plugging your fingertips to the wall behind you. Inhale here and shake that all out. So go wide with your feet this time, and we'll do my favorite taps. So we're crossing the midline, really good for us, and we're just tapping our alternating the opposite hand to opposite inner arch. Okay? If you want more, you're squatting in between the taps, squatting and tapping. If you want even more brain work and body work in a way that you're not used to, the next 2 taps will be behind you. Okay? So you can go forward, forward, back, back, okay? And then if you want even more, you'll add a hop. You'll go cross, cross, hop, cross, cross, hop, cross, cross, hop, cross. Notice I'm staying in the squat longer if I'm adding the hop. I'm not straightening my legs in between. Cross, cross, hop, cross, cross, hop. One more time, cross, cross, hop. Now hold and lift your heels up and down. Up and down. Whoo, yes, I know. Working those glutes, working those calves, feet, hamstrings. 3, 2, 1. All right, heels down, reach up, and float the arms down. So I learned recently, shake it out, and start to circle your arms. I learned recently that lactic acid, you know when we feel that burn, that's the lactic acid buildup, we always look at it as negative. It's actually good for our brains. Who knew? Fantastic. All right, shake that all out. Come onto your all fours position, please. If you need to pad your knees, please do. Hands come down. And then from here, you're gonna start to try to shake the earth away from you, as if you could just shake so much that the floor would move. Okay, so you're gonna shake, shake, shake. And what we're gonna do is that's the fast twitch muscle fibers that we're waking up in the biceps and the triceps especially. Shake, shake, shake. And you're gonna start to feel that because you can't move the floor, your torso is moving, which is what we want. If you want more, do this in your plank pose. If it doesn't feel good in the low back, go back to all fours. Press, 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 press. 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Put one foot more central, okay? So just on the same line where the feet are, but a little more center. Lift one leg up, take a stretch. Lower that down, a little more center, other leg up, take a stretch. And other foot down. Now, the ball joints of the feet are gonna touch. You're gonna turn your heels to the right, toes to the left. Bend your knees to the left, press your heart back, okay? Now, in the center, you'll come up, you'll straighten the legs. It'll almost be like kind of a downward dog. You'll switch the heels over to the left, knees and toes to the right, bend. Up through center, switch toes left, bend the knees. Through center, switch toes right, bend the knees. So you're doing a little bit of this twisting and turning side to side with the hips. And as you move the hips and the toes to the sides, you press your heart back, opening through the shoulders, strengthening the shoulders and the side body. And of course, working the legs, working the core, getting it all in. Get that heart rate up, getting into those high calorie burning zones. Twice more. And then center, hold in your plank and either come down for a rest or hands go wider than your mat, roughly wider than your shoulders, push-ups. Maybe the knees come down for push-ups. You're drawing your organs towards your spine. Elbows don't have to splay way out to the sides, but slightly back. You can do this really slow. Again, you can do this knees down. You can do a little baby push-up. I know we've been working the arms a lot, but I wasn't lying when I said this was a really super challenging workout. 3, 2, and 1. Child's pose. Child's pose or downward dog. Hips draw back, arms draw forward, reach. You can get a little sway side to side there. You might roll out the wrists, okay? Shake out through the arms. And then walk your hands back to the back of your mat in a forward fold. And choose how you want to rise. Come all the way up, reach. And then bring your hands to your heart. Shake that all out. Okay, so from here, and there haven't been really obvious ways to put the weights. This is an obvious way. If you want to hold something, even if it's a block or something in your hands for this, you absolutely can. We're going to reach, and actually I'm showing you on the wrong side. Opposite arm goes forward to opposite leg, and you can have something in your hand when you take it forward to work the back and shoulder more. You don't have to, okay? So we're gonna do opposite hand forward, opposite leg back. Now that might look little, like so, okay? Put a little buoyancy in that standing leg, and as you're ready, take that movement. Forward with the block or the empty hand or the weight, and back with opposite leg. One more time, and back to center. Switch whatever you have, if you have something in your hand, and start to just play with it a little bit. Start small, take it forward, opposite arm forward. All of us are gonna have one side, most of us I should say, that feels easier than the other. You can slow this way down to make it more challenging actually, because you have to balance a lot differently and longer if you want, or you can go in that kind of quicker movement if you would like. The other arm can be there for balance. It can go forward as well. It can go back with the back leg. It's completely up to you. I'm trying to take you out of your comfort zone of movement so that you create new neural pathways and ways that your body works and harmonizes in ways that it's not used to. One more time. All right, and shake that out. Same thing, you can hold something or a pretend something or a weight in your hand. We're gonna do what's called an RDL. So we're going to, and you can hold the sides actually. Take it down and up. I'm gonna do a tiny bend in my knees, and I'm gonna let this go into my glutes and my back. Down and up. Now we're gonna switch between RDL and squat with that object in front of the shins or ankles. Squat, up, RDL. RDL means Roman deadlift, and up. Squat, up, RDL, up. When you squat, think about your hips going back rather than your knees just coming forward. So I'm not kind of going like this and taking the hips down to my heels. I'm taking the hips further back if I can. before the RDL. Whatever weight you have, if it's heavy, you might want to take that away now, especially if you're feeling too much in the lumbar. One more of each, squatting and RDL. Whew. Okay, you don't need your weight or your block or object, and shake that all out. Now, from here, go wide with your feet. Of course, you could hold a weight if you would like. We're gonna go back here and we're gonna do internal rotation of one leg and back up, internal rotation and back to external. So this is already external. We move one in, rotating at the hip. This isn't happening at the knee. We're turning out the ball and socket joint and back, ball and socket joint and back. The heel lifts and back. If you want more, arms up with or without a weight. Yes, indeedy. We might feel these in the next couple of days. One more each side, you've got it. And then back all the way to stand and take the feet together and just take a moment to find your alignment. Breathing through the nose if you can. If your breath is coming through the mouth, even if it's through the exhales, that's totally okay. But the more and the longer you can breathe through the nose, the better. There's a lot of science behind that. If you haven't read Breath by James Nestor, I recommend that book. Deep breath in. And now just take a sigh. Sighs are really helpful. We wouldn't always breathe out through the mouth, but sighs are really helpful to release cortisol and to relax our systems. Okay, so from here, let's go to the top of the mat. We're almost done, you guys. And then reach forward and up. Lift your sternum, lift and work those back muscles. Exhale, fold it down. Take yourself into your plank pose and actually move your blanket or towel out of the way. And we're gonna do underneath cross taps. So instead of side to side, we're gonna cross to the side. Now it doesn't have to be your big toe touching. I think it's more the outside of my foot that's touching. The closer I take my foot to my hands, the more flexibility that's calling on in my hips, and it's a little more work in my core. I might just tap kind of near my feet, but we're crossing underneath side to side. If you want more and you're not gonna hurt your toes and you feel like you have it, you're going to do this with a tiny hop side to side. You may even be hovering your foot rather than touching down. 3, 2, 1. Those are long counts. And downward dog or child's pose, it's your choice. Breathing. Breathing is not an option. Breathing is mandatory. And come down to seated. Bring your legs forward, shake them out, roll out your wrists, and cross your legs however that feels comfortable. Take your fingertips behind you. We just did a lot of kind of pushing down on the floor and we really closed off into the pecs. So take your thumbs towards you and your fingertips back. I'm all about finding balance in the workout and this is it. Shoulder blades onto the back. Lift up your sternum without lifting your chin, okay? So from the pubic bone to your sternum, get long. Loop the shoulder blades back. Open the chest. Let your breath help you open the chest with those inhales and settling down on the exhales. Okay, we're gonna work the glutes. Yeah, we're gonna work the glutes and then we'll be done. Soles of the feet down. Elbows are gonna be about 90 degree of a bend there. Feet or hips distance are a little wider. Press into the soles of the feet, lift up. Now, if you need to take the feet a little further in front of you, that's fine. You might scooch the shoulder blades a little bit more underneath. Now, this is gonna be awkward. I'm going to ask you this one. I won't in all, but on this one, tuck your tailbone under to increase the length at your hip flexors and to engage the glutes differently. Keep that engagement of tucking the tailbone under and then lift and lower the pelvis half an inch or so. If tucking the tailbone bothers your knees, then let go of it and just lift the pelvis up and down. And you don't have to keep it tucked. You'll still be working through that posterior chain, through the back of the body, up and down. Tucking under will decrease your range of movement, which is just fine. up and down. If you would like, lift the heels and continue the work. You might have to take the heels closer in. And we're back in that heel lifted position, which always is a bit of a doozy. Lifting up and down. And then if you want to change it up even more, lower one heel up, lower the other heel up. And when I say lower, it doesn't have to touch the ground and then come up. It can just hover and up, or they can go together. I'm actually shaking as I do this. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of awesome work. Talk about gaining strength here. 2, last one. Lower down, hug your knees in, rock side to side. You guys, excellent. If you've made it this far and you're still here, hit the like button. And bravo. Bring the sole of the left foot down, extend the right leg. Interlace your fingers anywhere behind that right leg and stretch. Spread your toes out and breathe. You might use a robe tie, like a tie that goes around your bathrobe, or a regular tie or something. If you can't reach the foot, breathe here. Or a yoga strap if you have one. If you're not feeling enough of a stretch and you want to straighten that lower leg, absolutely you can, but I don't want you to burn out your nervous system by thinking that's necessary. It's not. And then just switch sides. Other set of hamstrings gets that nice stretch, which is gorgeous work for the lumbar. You can even point and flex here, whatever feels good. Softening at the bridge of the nose, letting breath easily travel in and out, and extending that lower leg, but only if it increases the benefit of the posture for you and doesn't cause this feeling of fighting against the stretch. We don't want to fight against the stretch. Your nervous system does not like that. We want slow and steady, slow permission to open. Soles of the feet down, then in, back to your chest, knees wide, and rock side to side here, opening your groin. Favorite twist. So you can stack the knees and come to one side with the knees and open your palm facing up, opening that opposite shoulder. You can extend the lower leg and bring the top knee over. There's tons, you can cross the legs, tons of twists to choose from. Play around with it. This is great for the work we did in our back, stretching that out. And then other side with your twist. Do try to keep the palm up of the arm that's opposite of the knees rather than down like this. That would probably feel awkward, or down by the side unless you have a shoulder injury, because I'm looking to get the pectoral stretch as well. So I'd like to do a few more things with each posture, rather than just focus on only one muscle group or something like that. And come back. And if it feels best for your low back to keep your knees bent, keep your knees bent. If it feels great to extend your legs forward, extend them forward. Take your deepest breath of the day, reach up and back behind you, and then sigh out and release that stretch. Lazily let your head go, close your eyes first and let your head go side to side. You'll feel that the back of your head is not smooth, but yet bumpy. That's normal. And then let the nose go up right towards the ceiling. Close the eyes and rest here as long as you can. So we don't want to throw ourselves from all of that activity and effort right into our day. We want to take a pause and let ourselves release and find a little bit more of that base of ourselves where we feel more steady, more grounded before we take on the tasks of the day. I always appreciate people who show up, and especially on days when they don't really want to, but they show up anyway and get these workouts in that are so powerful for our health and our longevity. Thank you again for being here. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.